Welcome back to Impossibly Unremarkable, a podcast hosted by myself, Jonathon Butts, and my longtime friend, co-host, and jitterbug, Elliott Markson.
That is right, and we're back for another episode of this podcast, and today we're just two men who are adamant about wearing shorts in the winter, just so you can come up to us and go, hey, aren't you cold? And we can say, no, we don't feel the cold. It's not even cold outside, as we shiver our asses off. Isn't that right?
That's right. It's actually quite cool outside.
Yeah, it's getting colder. It's snowing. There's snow on the ground. I shoveled today.
You did?
I did. I did because, you know, when you have a home and you see all your neighbors outside also shoveling, you kind of have to get out there. Otherwise, you kind of look bad.
At least you don't have like a ton to shovel.
I don't.
You just do that, your path, your walkway and your driveway?
Yeah, I have like a driveway in the back. I've got like a little walkway, and you have to do the sidewalks and stuff. But it's not too much for me. I can handle it with just a shovel. I don't need like a snowblower or anything.
That'd be a little weird if you had a snowblower.
My neighbor does.
Really?
He's old.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
So like he's not gonna shovel.
That makes sense.
But yeah, I mean, there's like the peer pressure of your neighbors around you, and then you see them shoveling, and you're like, fuck, I gotta go shovel. Otherwise, I'm gonna be the neighbor who still has snow on their walkway, and the only one. I'll be the only one, and I don't want to be that guy.
That's the benefit to renting is you don't have to do that.
It's true.
The con, like the negative or the con to renting though is neither does my landlord. They don't.
Well, somebody does.
Well,
Somebody shovels your parking lot. You have the area.
Not frequently.
They have to.
And they certainly don't salt the sidewalks.
That's dangerous.
Enough. Oh yeah, it is. Because I looked it up, and it's like a legal requirement. Landlords have to safely salt walkways and driveways and plow and whatever. But I don't know if the salt they use is just like shit.
They just put table salt out there.
Yeah, just someone.
I don't know.
A salt shaker, but like I almost slip every time I walk in that parking lot.
That's horrible.
That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. But I'm sure somewhere in my lease, it's like
probably.
You know,
you signed your soul away on that thing, probably.
We're absolved of any wrongdoing.
Right. If you slip on the ice, that's on you.
Yeah.
Should have looked out.
So like it's a little weird.
Should have better traction on your shoes.
That like an apartment lease is like 40 pages, right? Like that should be read.
What is in those 40 pages?
They're just telling you all the things you're not allowed to do, including like taking legal action against them.
You know, technically, I think you're not supposed to light candles in apartments.
Yeah, and
most apartments build. Buildings.
we don't light any candles in here.
Yeah, no, definitely not. There's not like 6 candles lit right now.
There's not 6 candles. There's not any candles lit.
Yeah, obviously, of course. No, there wouldn't be. I mean, I used to light candles all the time when I was an apartment dweller.
My landlord listens to this thing, man.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do.
Who's your landlord? You live in like one of those buildings that's owned by some faction.
It is. It is owned by a faction.
What is a faction?
Faction. It's like it's an organization.
Okay, so it is just synonymous with organization.
Yeah, it's like a conglomerate. I mean, faction. When I hear faction, I think more like war.
Yeah, I think of like a criminal organization, like a dark faction of people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like that. Syndicate. I like the word
syndicate. Ooh, syndicate. That's another good one. That's great.
If I ran a business, we'd refer to ourselves as a syndicate.
Yeah.
That's
crime syndicate. That's one.
Legal syndicate.
Legal syndicate.
Yeah.
A podcast syndicate.
Podcast syndicate.
Nice.
Pod syndicate.
Sin
podicate.
Yep.
Syndipod.
Jeez, this is great. How have you been? What have you been up to?
A great many things, young one.
What the hell does that mean? Why'd you call me young one? I'm older than you. By a country mile, I will say.
By height and pretty much no other metric in my mind. I'm bigger than you.
Yeah, you're taller.
Yeah. Which indicates
you're a bigger man.
Yeah. Age. Wisdom.
That has nothing to do with age.
So I've been doing a good job of sticking to my working out for an hour.
Nice. What'd you do today?
Every single time I've just done an hour on the treadmill.
Nice.
Which the last 2 days I've been doing 700 calories on the treadmill.
That's solid.
Which is pretty good. I thought about going back to 3:30.
Yeah.
But man, I'm just not ready for that.
It's not that bad.
I mean,
you don't like 3:30?
It's not great either, you know.
Where you're at a 12 incline, 3-speed for 30 minutes. I usually do I'll do that at the end of a workout, because usually if you lift Like if I want to get some cardio in, I'll just do that.
So like what I've been doing is I've been aiming to do 3 miles each time I'm on the treadmill. And so each time I've done 3 miles and some change. And so like I'll start at like 3 miles an hour for my walking for the first mile. And once I get that mile out of the way, I'll beef the incline and I'll do like up to like 3.5.
Nice.
And then for the last, 20-ish minutes or last mile, I'll bring the speed down and then up the incline.
Nice. Working that booty.
Yeah.
I can see it. I saw it when I walked in. You can't miss it.
I was like looking at myself in the mirror as I'm walking. And just like when you're at the incline and you're like, you have a very defined
chucking
walk,
away.
I was like looking like, oh my God, my ass looks huge.
My ass is incredible.
No, I wouldn't say incredible, but like.
Damn. I could bounce a dime off that thing.
It was deceptive.
Why? The mirror?
What?
Some mirrors are deceptive.
Well, I mean, it could be. I was just like, is that mine? Is that on my body? But 3 or 4 days ago when I was walking, it was like 9:30 at night, and it was just me. And it's just like a small apartment gym.
Yeah.
They call it state of the art, but
that's what they call it?
2 of the 3 treadmills have been broken for like a month. So
state of the art.
I don't know what kind of state of the art we're talking about.
What state is the art in?
But these 3 guys walked in, none of them in gym clothes, and they had like bags and stuff. And there's like a racquetball court. I didn't talk about this. Did I tell you about this?
No.
There's a racquetball court on the other side of the gym. So like the treadmills are here, racquetball court's here.
Yeah.
And they like go in there. I'm like, shit, I get to watch people play racquetball. Like that'll be fun.
Nice.
But no, they start unpacking stuff and like pulling out tripods and whatever, ring lights.
Yeah.
And
they were filming something?
Yeah.
What were they filming?
I think they were filming like a rap video.
That's awesome.
Because they're like in there and they're like.
Anyone we would know?
No.
Did you get a listen on the music? Was it good?
I couldn't because like I could hear them like making some sounds.
Yeah.
But there's like a glass wall and door separating the racquetball.
That's
court.
so sweet.
But they were like, yeah.
Do they live here?
No, because they all like someone had to.
They have to know somebody who lives here.
Yeah,
though.
someone had to have, but they were just like going at it. I'm like, cool.
Dude, we got to get them on the pod.
Honestly, like it's a great venue for it. Just like a big wooden.
I mean, it's empty.
Yeah.
Probably looks sweet.
But I was worried that they were like gonna pan around, and I was just gonna be like
staring at
sweating like a fucking dog because I'm facing this way and they're here.
You just like you find this like video on YouTube, and you're just like in the background of their rap video, just some sweaty guy in a treadmill.
I know, and like not that this would ever happen, but like my mind immediately goes to like, oh great, they're gonna talk about this, fat look at this fat pig on a treadmill.
They just start rapping about it.
And I think the worst part was I was like wearing like a green shirt.
Yeah.
And like green shorts. So it was just like not a good look.
Ooh, a matching gym fit?
I
got a matching set?
I thought the shorts were gray. So
but it was matching green on green.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
I looked like a dog, man. It was not my best look. And so yesterday, I go in, no one is in like the gym part. So I hop on the treadmill, but like the racquetball court has like 15 people in it. I'm like, wow, what's going on today? And
it's racquetball day. It's racquetball day.
They were playing racquetball. I thought it was like a self-defense class because
why?
People were like doing moves and like pretending to like hit each other with like sticks.
Yeah.
And like swords, and like a couple people had like guns. And I'm like, this is some.
What is this racquetball court?
This is some weird self-defense class.
You just like start seeing like people in the racquetball court, but it's never racquetball. It's just anything but.
I don't think anyone's ever played racquetball on that thing. And I'm like, this is just a very odd self-defense class. And I'm like, keep looking at it. I'm like, I'm looking at the mirror on the side, and I'm like looking through the reflection. People are like dual wielding swords. I'm like, this isn't self-defense.
They were LARPing.
That's exactly. I'm pretty sure
they were doing a LARP.
But it was like a practice session. Like they were all in gym clothes, and like there was some sort of like instructor who was like 70, but he kept like waving a gun around, and
he was waving a gun. Maybe they're in some sort of like performance or play where there's a fight scene and they're trying to coordinate and choreograph
I'm like watching people like practice finishing moves. At one point, 2 lightsabers came into the mix.
So are you lying to me? Like, what is this? This sounds too ridiculous.
This is dead. I'm dead serious.
There was guns and lightsabers.
I wanted to take a picture of it because I was like, this.
That sounds too ridiculous to be true.
Ridiculous. And maybe it's a Sunday night thing. So next Sunday I'll go and I'll like check it out and see if that's the case. But it was like,
well, if it is, you call me. I'll be right over. I got to see this. That's so crazy, man.
And I also didn't want to take a picture and then like, because I wouldn't want a photo taken of me.
Of course not.
Out and about. But I'm like, no one's gonna believe me.
No
one's gonna believe me when I'm saying this.
I don't really believe you.
But like they were going for it, and so maybe it was like a theatrical.
It had to be
thing. But the other thing is like they all left and like drove off. I don't think any of them lived there.
What the hell?
I don't know how people.
Maybe they rent the space.
How do people keep getting it? I looked online. I spent like 15 minutes. Like, is there like an event rental space?
Yeah.
There's no posters. There's nothing. There's nothing saying, hey, the theatrical LARPers are going to be in today. Don't be in the racquetball court.
Yeah, we got to do next time we record. Let's just go record in the racquetball court.
I thought about that. I thought about like hauling our stuff down there and just like.
It'd be funny.
It would be so echoey. Just us in
it could be sweet.
A giant enclosed square.
Change of scenery.
We should do it while people are, if anyone ever does play racquetball on that thing.
While they're playing racquetball? Yeah, that would be good for audio.
We should get into high-lie.
High-lie?
Yeah, it's that.
What's that?
It's that sport where like people like whip like hard balls at like 100 miles an hour down like a court. You never seen high-lie?
What?
You need to look up high-lie, man.
Wait, it sounds familiar. Do they whip it with their hands?
No, they have things.
They have like a racket of some kind, some sort of scoop?
Yeah, it's like a scoop.
Sounds familiar.
I'm pretty sure it's like a South American sport. Look up high-lie. It's scary.
All right.
Well, we should do that.
But they're just whipping a hard ball at a wall?
Yeah, but it's like a long court.
Yeah,
sure.
And the ball bounces back.
Yeah.
And then you got to like catch it before it bounces too many times or so?
I think so. I don't know. I don't know the rules.
You don't know the rules?
I don't know a lot of rules to any sport that's like not a North American sport.
Yeah, I feel like there was a point in my life where I like tried to get into cricket.
Really?
I think, yeah, I like. Well, I would like.
Where would you have gotten into?
I just like would occasionally watch cricket. I remember, especially on that Alaskan cruise I took, if you recall.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes when we were just sitting in the room, like we're tired or I'm, feeling nauseous from the waves of the boat, and we've been there for days. I would just pop on the TV, and they didn't have a lot of channels, and sometimes it would just be like whatever's on sports, and a lot of times I don't know why it was cricket. So I tried to watch cricket and understand what the hell's going on, and I still don't quite get it. I kind of began to understand, but I don't know. I don't really get it.
Yeah, I've never looked into it, but I had a coworker who played cricket, and he was like talking to me about it, and I'm like, it's all going over my head because I have absolutely no idea what he's talking about. Like I can visualize things. I've seen some clips of people playing cricket.
Yeah.
There's like cricket video games. We could get like.
There's a cricket video game?
Yeah, we should get like.
That'd be a good way to learn.
That would be a good way.
You could learn some of the rules and what happens. If you were going to play like a niche sport, which one would you play?
Badminton.
Badminton. Is that really that niche?
I mean,
you could catch people playing that on the 4th of July. Played in a gym class.
Yeah, I think it's still like if we didn't know each other and we were just like asking each other icebreakers and like, I play sports, and you're like, football, basketball, hockey.
I guess if
soccer?
You were like, I'm a competitive
baseball?
badmintoner.
Yeah, people would be like,
we're like, that's
sure?
crazy, dude.
You sure
No, you're not. Nobody does that. I'd probably go with like, I'd probably be more of like a polo guy, like on a horse. Like a horse with like the racket, like the little really? Mallet.
You'd be a polo guy?
Yeah, why not?
Do you know how to ride horses?
Well, can't be that hard. The horses do most of the work, as I understand. I'm not running. I'm just riding.
Yeah, but it's like a car. You got to control the thing.
When I was young, I really wanted to be a cowboy. That was like my dream. I had like a cowboy themed room.
Really?
Yeah,
when did
as
that
like
stop?
A kid. Junior high. No, I'm just kidding. I think when I was like probably like 5 to like maybe 4 to 7.
That's
that
right.
range.
That's like an acceptable range.
My room was cowboy themed, and I thought it was awesome.
That's cute.
I wanted to ride horses. It was like my dream for 3 years of my life. As a young kid, never got to. Didn't. Turns out to ride horses, you actually like your family probably has to have money or access to horses in some way. I had neither, so. I'm not poor. I'm not saying I was poor, but we didn't have horse money. We didn't have horse money.
Like,
okay.
I think right now I have like go to a place that lets you ride a horse for an hour money.
What places let you ride a horse for an hour?
Just Google it.
I'm assuming you could get like riding lessons and have access to a horse that way, but there's no way it's cheap. My parents weren't even paying for piano lessons. Well, think they're going to pay for me to ride a horse? Not a chance.
Oh, we'll look it up.
So that could be me, though. If I had, in another life, I could have ridden a horse. Could have also been an Olympic athlete, I bet. I was in gymnastics as a kid. I was in the advanced boys class.
I was in
the advanced boys class.
For 2 years.
Were you in the advanced wrestling class?
No, I was.
Because I was in the advanced boys class. And guess how many other people were in that class?
How many?
0, just me.
Okay, I don't believe you.
It literally was just me.
So you're telling me
no one else signed up for the advanced boys class?
You're telling me, it was a sign up.
Well, I don't know.
It was just you one-on-one with some
gymnastics teacher? With this big, jacked, giant human who was an amazing coach and teacher and my idol for a good year. I don't remember his name.
What age?
I was probably like 8.
He left a profound impact on you.
He did. He's awesome. I remember he had like a huge 6-pack. Like this guy was as jacked as I've ever seen anybody. He had like this big tattoo on his abs that said something. It was words.
At age 8, you remember this?
Yeah, man.
Wow.
This dude was sick. He didn't have a car, so he rode his bike to work every day.
I mean, that's just good for the environment.
Well, my lessons were in like Chanhassen. I think he lived in Minneapolis. So I think he rode his bike like 30 miles every morning.
That's not smart.
Well, I think he eventually had to. I think what eventually happened was he had to leave the gymnastics place because they told him that he didn't have adequate transportation.
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. I feel like I would just constantly be fearful that I'm gonna like get hit by a car on my.
I'm wondering if he had been like late or something.
I'm sure he was.
A few times. Never was for me. He was always on time for me. So
I've never seen you tumble. I've never seen you tumble.
I can still like do stuff.
Like what?
I can do a cartwheel. I can do like a cool round off sort of thing.
What's a cool round off?
It's like it's like you do a cartwheel and then you kind of like jump off and land on your feet.
Can you do that?
I can do a handstand
where you're on like.
I can walk on my hands.
Can you do that thing where you're like, I don't know the best way to describe this. You're like sitting on like.
What the hell?
It's like a taller stool, and you like swing. You
like the horse, the pommel horse.
Yeah, and you like swing your legs around it.
Wasn't old enough to really get going on the pommel horse. I don't think they really let 8-year-olds do that.
You know the name of it?
Yeah, of course I know the name of it. I was in the advanced boys class.
When you were 8.
Yeah.
I was really good at chess for my age at like age 7.
Okay, we got King's Gambit over here. I was in the advanced boys class.
You signed up for it.
I think. Oh, I'm pretty sure that I was recruited for the advanced boys class.
Hey, this dude who rides his bike.
They saw potential in me.
This dude that rides his bike for 40 miles needs a reason to be there.
Also, I think I was the only 8-year-old boy taking it semi seriously.
Well, probably.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. You know, there should be more.
There should be.
Should be more men in gymnastics.
There should be. It's really sick.
Not this guy though.
I wish I'd kept doing it.
Can you rock a leotard for us?
I've never worn one. We never had to. I don't think they were letting 8-year-old boys wear leotards.
I remember wearing.
I never like competed or anything.
The name of the leotard for wrestlers. It's not a leotard.
Isn't it just a leotard?
No, it has.
There's a different name for it.
There's a different name for it.
Something manlier than leotard or something? They just didn't like the name?
I don't remember it being manly, but it was definitely not leotard.
They'd call it like a skin. It's just like a skin suit.
It is just
a sleeveless skin suit.
But dude, I was shit at wrestling.
Really?
I was so bad. I wrestled for 2 years. I only ever went to 2 meets total.
Yeah.
And
did you ever win a match?
No. Both times I was in a I had no idea what was going on. Like,
wait, did you not pay attention in practice?
Dude,
you don't work on your moves? Your half Nelsons?
I did, but
your takedowns? I know nothing about wrestling.
Neither do I, and I did it for 2 years. I don't remember why I ever wanted to do it, but I did it in 6th and 7th grade, and I was like scrawny. Like,
yeah,
I was skinny in high school, but I was like paper thin in middle school.
Yeah.
So I was probably like 5'6", 5'7", trying to wrestle while I also weigh like 80 pounds.
That's crazy.
And so I was in 2 meets, and in both of those meets, I was in, I don't know the term for it, but I was competing against 3 other people total.
Featherweight class.
No, it wasn't a weight class, but I mean it might have been. But there were like 4 of us, so there were 4 people in our group.
Were they other skinny boys?
I mean, yeah, but they were like kids who probably like gave a shit about what they were doing. Because most people that wrestle that are like doing it like middle school, high school, they're into it, you know?
Right.
But I took 4th place both times. So like I got a medal each time, but it was like
for last place.
I got my ass kicked 2 or 3 times each.
They're just handing out kids trophies these days. It's all participation now.
Well, you get to stand on like a really small little box.
Really?
You know? Yeah.
They still do that whole ceremony? Yeah. That's crazy. Well, congrats, man. You got 4th place.
Dude,
That's not easy.
I feel bad because my mom had bought me like nice new wrestling shoes and like all the things that are involved in doing it. And I just remember she would be like screaming like, "Get off the ground. Get up.
Come on, Jonathon.
Get up." I'm like,
just not caring.
I tried. You know, I gave it about 15 seconds of effort, and the other guy bested me. You know
he got me.
What's a boy to do?
I'm done. He's stronger than me.
I do remember.
I gave it to him.
I got a really sick sweatshirt out of the whole thing. So
that's the cool thing about sports in that time. You always get a cool sweatshirt because your parents always pay for it.
Yeah.
You always get one. I went for soccer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you get the jackets. You know, when we were in show choir, we had jackets.
Yeah.
It was like a point of pride to wear that thing around.
Yeah.
You show up to school in that thing because you feel really cool.
Still, I'll go to work in it.
You still have it.
Would you judge me if I went to work in it?
Yeah. That's super strange. That's really weird.
It's like super fucking tight on me.
Doesn't fit at all anymore.
I was in a varsity show choir 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Yeah, no, 10 years.
It'll almost be 10 years. I mean, we graduated.
It's just about,
but goodness gracious.
Yeah, it's
like
crazy.
I had a memory pop up on Facebook of like you and me and like guys from freshman year in college, and it was like, look back on your memory 8 years ago today.
Ugh.
And I was like, Jesus Christ.
My God.
The time has flown.
Yeah, it really does, man. It flies like crazy.
There are so many things I wanted to do in 2023 that I just didn't accomplish.
Like what?
I wanted to get into wrestling again.
You didn't. No, you didn't. You never wanted to get. Let's do it. Let's get into wrestling. Let's head to the ring.
So let's go in the racquetball court. And
start grappling each other.
Slamming each other in like hardwood.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like wrestling's gross though. Like it's gross.
Like you're like holding on to another sweaty dude.
You're like
trying to get him to the floor.
You touch each other's balls. Like.
Well, yeah, I would imagine that there's some ball touching.
Inadvertent,
obviously, but it probably happens.
Intentional. That was my.
That was your move.
That was my move.
Well, you gotta get an advantage somehow. You can't just. If you know they're stronger than you, you gotta find their weakness.
My favorite part of wrestling was that you can like literally like punch a dude in the head.
What? What do you mean? You cannot punch people in the head? Why is that legal?
Like you, it was like to discombobulate your opponent, but you would like slam him on the forehead with the palm of your hand.
You know how mad I would get if I got to a wrestling match and then the kid just palms me in the head? I would just tackle the shit out of him. I'd be so mad.
That's how it goes, man.
That would just aggravate me as your opponent, and then I would just take you down even harder.
No, man, you'd be discombobulated.
Oh no, I'm stunned. Wow. Yeah. I wish you had taken wrestling to the next level. I feel like in another life you could have been a really good wrestler.
If we get 4K likes, I'll squeeze myself into
into a leotard.
I'll look up what the name of it is. It's not leotard.
Okay. If you were going to be like a WWE wrestler, what do you think your wrestling name would be?
Gort.
What the
Yeah, Gort.
I was thinking like it's always something like the Midwest Maniac, or like something crazy.
Well, I mean
like
that's if like you're like a regional guy or like you're kind of small town.
Oh, so you're like Gort is like big time. Gort's big time. I mean, he's not regional. He's national. He's international.
Because like Midwest Maniac, that's like that's a.
You're right. You're putting yourself in a box.
Iowa. Yeah. But Gort is all encompassing.
Defending heavyweight champion of the world, Gort.
I mean, but think about the names of like actual WWE guys.
I mean, like John Cena.
That's just his name.
Triple H.
Rey Mysterio.
I'm trying to think of ones. I was never really that into wrestling.
I
don't know that, but you look like a guy who watched a lot of wrestling as a kid.
Like I did watch WWE for like a couple months.
Yeah.
Like 8th or 9th grade.
Yeah.
Because it was just on because we had cable.
Yeah.
And it was like cool. And then once I kind of like took a step back, I'm like, it's just a performance.
Yeah.
You know, that's all it is.
I feel like now that I've realized that though, or like it's almost cooler now to me because it's like they're not just like they're for real athletes putting on a performance and selling it. Like it's like like it's no wonder like they all become actors because they're acting already.
Yeah.
Like they're playing characters, they're putting on like a show. It's almost like a play, but it's very, physical.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost cooler that way to me.
Logan Paul does WWE.
Yeah. Well, you got to be in shape. You got to like be able to do the flips and stuff. Take the hits.
Get hit by a metal folding chair.
Do you think they really hit him though? They probably let up. I'm sure they make contact.
They definitely make contact, but they definitely let up. I'm sure there are times when like
they don't let up enough.
Wrong. Like I saw a clip where Logan Paul had done something wrong, and then his opponent had done something even more wrong, and so like Logan Paul had to like catch him before he like broke his neck. Yeah,
I'm sure that stuff happens a lot more than you think.
Yeah, but Gort is probably what I would do.
Well, I'd want to be like your tag team guy. Like we'd be like a team, like a duo.
Thump.
Gort and Thump.
That's a good tag team.
Yeah, dude.
Thump is a great.
And then like my finishing move would be like the thumper, the thumper hammer, the thump hammer.
The thump hammer.
I don't know. Yeah, it's got to be it.
Get thumped.
The Gore-Tex. You just circle around him.
Yeah, I would just like kind of sprint.
Yeah, just sprint to disorient your opponent, and then repeatedly hit them in the head with your palm. Just disorient your opponent, get them dazed.
That was the only part I ever practiced.
This guy learned nothing from wrestling. Never executed it in match.
Oh man. Well, my week was good.
That's good, man.
What did I do? I don't know. I do want to say that I know I try to talk tough about being a dad and, having a son, and it's like, oh, it's cool, it's really sick, I love him, blah, blah, blah. But I want to candidly say right here now on this podcast that I love my son Wesley so much. He's incredible. And the best part of my day, because I didn't do much this week, but I will tell you, the best part of each day, I put him to bed at night. And this is the greatest joy of my life. It may be stupid to some of you non-kid havers out there, as we refer to you inside the parenting home. Us parents refer to people like you like that. But the best part of my day, the joy of my life, is putting him to bed, feeding him his milk, and then he falls asleep in my arms. And sometimes I choose to just sit there as he's falling asleep in my arms, looking adorable, looking like a tiny little angel, cherub, what have you. And I just gaze down at him and I hold him, and then I just sit there and I just think, wow, this is awesome. And then I put him to bed gently and he falls asleep like a little tiny angel, like a sweet little boy. I love him. It's the best.
Hey, chat, spam, this dude's a pussy in the comments.
Is that why you were laughing? You were just thinking...
I just thought it was funny because you were like, I know I act all tough.
I do.
Do you?
I feel like sometimes I feel a certain way about being like overly emotional about it. Although I have been, like, I feel in my life I have become more emotional as a person.
I mean, I agree.
Thanks. I'll take that as a compliment.
I think it is a very positive thing for fathers to show emotion and to show how much they love their children.
I agree. But I mean, it's just like, I don't know if it's ingrained in me or what it is, but sometimes when people are like, how's being a parent? I'm just trying to like be like, oh, it's sick, dude. It's awesome. Have a kid. It's like, that doesn't feel genuine. So I just want people to understand that I genuinely love my son very much, and he is the light of my world.
Where
do I rank?
In terms of lights of my world?
Yeah. Like, am I a flicker somewhere among there? Or?
You are, for sure, top 50. Let's see.
You know a lot of people. Damn.
There's a lot of lights in my world. You'd be top 10 for sure.
Okay.
100%. Maybe top 5. Wait.
Yes. Don't wait.
Top 10 for sure. For sure. I mean, I don't have the list ironed out yet, but for sure top 10. I don't know that many people.
I'd give you a top. Like, you're definitely in the top 30 of my.
Are you serious?
Yeah, man.
You don't have 30 people that mean that much to you.
I have hundreds of people that I correspond with in any given week.
Who you correspond with? Who are you corresponding with?
My wrestling buddies.
Thump.
Gort.
Nice.
I would probably be like, Gort.
Gort.
Well,
yeah, you have to have a character.
I'd put on like an Eastern European kind of.
That seems
thick, guttural.
Like, you'd be like a Russian, sort of like.
No, I said Eastern European.
Is that not?
You know only one Eastern European country?
Ukraine.
You know 2 Eastern
Turkey?
European countries? Maybe. I have Russian in me, so if I want to do...
This guy's got Russian in him!
I do. It's in my... got some Polish,
a
lot of Irish.
Yeah, that tracks.
A lot of UK. Do you ever like wake up and you're like just so fucking thankful you're not British?
No, man. I've never once woken up and thought, thank God I'm not from the UK.
But you've never had that thought at all?
No, man. I mean, I guess I have had the thought of like, man, it's pretty cool to be, I kind of got lucky of all the places to be born on this planet. I was born in the United States of America, baby.
So I have this thought every time I find out like that an actor that I like is British.
Yeah.
Because that sucks, you know?
Sure.
It's never a good thing.
That sucks. It does suck when you find out that they're not American. You thought they were.
Which is like totally stupid. Like it doesn't matter at the end of the
cares?
day, but it's like when I found out that Tom Holland was doing like an American accent as Spider-Man, I was like,
that's true. That was one that that did shock me because
you know?
I didn't know for the longest time that he was British, but he is. But his accent is pretty sweet.
He does a great like high school age.
Yeah, he does really. It's amazing because I think like UK actors are way better at doing American accents than American actors ever would be doing.
Yeah, 100%.
UK accents.
100%.
I'm sure there's some exceptions, but like I feel like almost every UK actor can come over and play an American, and it's not the same for American actors.
Yeah, that's true.
It's not.
I feel like in the UK they have a lot more regional dialects. I mean, obviously you have like in America you have Midwesterners and Southerners and people on the East Coast, but like there'll be like counties in the UK where you
theirs is just more like because it's smaller, so it's kind of weird almost that it's like they talk so much differently here compared to here, and the distance isn't that far.
Exactly,
it's pretty weird.
But the reason I brought up the British thing is I was watching this video on TikTok and it was a dude just filming himself like he runs a food truck, which is cool. I love food trucks. I'm very pro food truck.
Nice.
But these two guys were like, can we get just speaking.
Were they speaking English?
I mean, they're speaking English, but
Is that accents?
They're just thick accents.
It's like that thick UK accent where you can't really understand.
They're asking for food, and so the dude's like, I got you. He starts making them food, and it's like a potato, a hunk of butter.
What?
A hunk of cheese and like a bunch of beans on top. And I'm like,
what
Jesus Christ.
Is that a traditional UK breakfast?
I don't know.
It's not.
It wasn't like an English breakfast, but it was like a potato with a bunch of beans. They're very pro bean there.
They are pro beans. I've been to the UK, and that was a staple of our breakfasts each morning. Was beans and eggs and like tomatoes, like little, like almost like cherry tomatoes cut in half. Actually, I don't even know because they were a little bigger than a cherry tomato. They were a little larger and thicker and had a little more, juice to them, literally and figuratively.
And I feel comfortable poking fun at our friends across the pond because we have such a rich, storied history of hating one another. And now it's come together as love,
I'd say that we're, I love the UK folk.
I want to go. But
it's sweet
I
over
want to
there.
enjoy all the other culture foods that are not like British food.
I mean, like if you go to Scotland, it's not far.
No, I mean like Indian food is very prominent in England.
Yeah, it is. You go to like a pub, you can get like curry, and it's usually pretty good.
I had currywurst in Germany. So good.
Currywurst.
It's like curry on.
Yeah, man, I want to get to Europe, dude. I need to get to Europe. It's just so expensive to get over there.
It is. We're looking at honeymoon stuff and.
Oh yeah.
Goddamn.
Heck yeah, dude, just do it. Pull the trigger. Where are you going?
We would like to.
What's on the list?
We'd like to go to Italy.
That would be sweet.
Yeah. And so my brother, who's been to Europe many times, his advice was to not focus on where you're trying to get, just find the cheapest way into Europe, and then like domestic flights in Europe are a lot cheaper than flying like direct to Florence or direct to Rome. But it's just so expensive, and like flights alone are probably going to end up being $2,000.
Yeah, probably.
And then you need to spend several thousand on other transportation, food, gifts, hotels, whatnot. But
stay in hostels.
I can't.
Come on.
I'm too.
You could make friends.
That's the last thing I want.
That's true. You hate friends that you don't know.
Well, no, I just I'm already on edge because I'm in a foreign place, and like, I don't want to sleep in the same room as a stranger.
Yeah, I get that.
That's not who I am.
Well, I'm sure you guys will do something cool.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll bring you along.
Really?
Of course.
I would love to come. I really would.
That'd be so weird.
I would love to be there. I could bring Megan and Wesley, or we could leave Wesley at home with his grandparents, and me and Megan could be a double date honeymoon.
That would be.
Me and Megan we've always talked about wanting to go on a second honeymoon, so why not just do it now?
Yes, if you guys kind of.
Except Megan would be a little annoying because she'd be like, I've already been to Italy. I've been to Italy before. Oh, I remember going to Italy.
I do wish I had her travel accolades.
I know. She spent 3 weeks in an ashram in India.
Isn't
that sweet?
That is sweet.
She spent New Year's that year looking at Mount Everest as the sun rose. You know what I was doing? Nothing. I don't even know what I was doing.
I played games with my family on New Year's Day.
This year?
Yeah.
Oh, that's very delightful. That's sweet.
I had my head buried in my phone watching my fantasy team lose. So.
Oh yeah.
It could have been a better day.
The college playoff is going on right now.
I really hope
they're
Michigan's
playing
losing
right now.
I can't handle it. Can you look up the score right now?
I was watching it as I was walking in, and Michigan was up 7-0. I can check here for you just to give you a quick update.
Michigan just has had too many good things going.
And Michigan is up 17-3 as of right now.
Oh
it is the second quarter, 5 minutes left.
Come on, Washington.
Right now, it looks like Michigan is dominating. Congrats to the best team in the Big Ten.
I mean,
on your championship. Assuming they hold on.
I hate you. They were the better team.
They're better than Ohio State.
No doubt about it.
Not even close, really. Two different, leagues.
Our QB transferred after that game. And so I don't know if you saw, but I can't even remember what team we played. Maybe Missouri, and we just fucking sucked. I think we scored 3 points in 60 minutes.
Yeah, people are saying that Ohio State and Michigan have pretty much switched roles, switched places, because now Michigan's dominant. They've got the good coach.
I've made my opinions
go
clear.
to championships and playoffs.
They sucked, and then they start cheating, and then they're like really good for 3 years. So like, let's asterisk that, because all of this that's happening will probably be taken away from them.
No,
later this year.
You can't ever take it away. You can't take it away from my boy Jim Harbaugh.
Such a loser.
Harbaugh.
All right, recommendation of the
Rec of the week. My rec of the week. And I'm going to recommend this movie, not because I think it's a great movie, but because I think it's one that people should see, mainly because people are talking about it online, and it's in the zeitgeist right now, and it's something that you should be aware of if you haven't already seen it. I'm going to recommend Saltburn, the movie Saltburn, which is a movie that I had asked you to watch today before we got here so that we could discuss it and I could talk spoilers.
The worst possible day to ask me to do something like that.
I just thought you could fit in
2 hours of my time.
I thought you could fit in the time. It's not that big of an ask.
It's a pretty big ask.
I don't even think it's a full 2 hours.
It might be the most you've ever asked of me.
It's a great... Well, it's not a great... It's a good movie. It's I don't want to spoil it or talk about anything weird. The reason that it's popping off online right now or on TikTok or whatever is because people are saying that it's like the most disturbing movie they've ever seen. And the reason for that is because there's 3 scenes that people are mainly talking about in this movie. I'm not going to talk about them in detail. They're just very strange scenes. I can gloss over them. There is a bathtub scene. That's all I'll say, which is very strange. After one character masturbates into the bathtub, that's all I will say. Then
I won't say much. Masturbation.
That's not the weirdest part. That's not the weird part. That's just what happens, and then something weird happens.
We really need to get into the habit of, prior to saying a word like that, being like, "Hey, parents that have children in the car."
This podcast is not for children. I think we can both agree on that.
Yeah, but it's for parents.
Okay.
Who have children.
Anyways, fine. Parental advisory. Sorry, it's too late. But parental advisory. The other scene is this scene. There's like a period sex scene, like a menstruation sex act.
A period. It's like set in the 1600s.
Yeah, it's like a period piece sex scene.
That's tasteful.
That's one that people talk about, and then another one is like this. I can't even describe it. It's so strange. You just have to see it, and you'll know it when it happens.
Sounds like the American people that are talking about this film are soft.
Yeah, well, the thing is, so the premise of the movie is this: it takes place at Oxford at first, and then
the university.
The University of Oxford University in the UK, our friends over the pond. So it starts there, and our main character is played by whatever his name is, Barry something.
Barry Keoghan, I think.
Yeah, Barry Keoghan, and he's a good actor. He's good and stuff.
I like his nose. Got a cute nose.
But so he is at Oxford University, and then this other character who's played by what's his name? Elordi? Jacob Elordi?
Something, yeah.
Yeah. The hot guy from Euphoria. He plays another hot guy in this one. And he's basically like this super popular, super wealthy, attractive man that everyone tries to get the attention of. He's very well liked. And our character, played by Barry, is, kind of wants to become friends with him, essentially. So they happen to bump into each other. Barry essentially does him like a favor, and then they kind of hit it off and eventually become friends. And then Jacob Elordi's character invites him to stay with him at his like family's estate called Saltburn, which is this large like castle in the UK that their family owns, essentially. And they go there for the summers. So Barry's character goes there with Jacob Elordi's character, and then hijinks ensues.
Hijinks ensue, naturally.
But the main character, what's his name? I should know his name.
Bill.
It's not Bill.
Saltburn.
It's not Saltburn. Whatever. The Barry's character, like he's kind of off, kind of a weirdo, kind of like a social outcast. And you kind of, as the film goes on, you're very familiar. You know that life very well. But as the film goes on, you kind of realize how off things are with him, and then weird things start to happen between the characters, and it's kind of dark. And there's many disturbing scenes, as people have discussed. People like post on TikTok reacting to these scenes and how weird they are. But honestly, so I thought the movie was good. I enjoyed it. It was a fun watch. I wouldn't call it a great movie. I think on Letterboxd I gave it 3.5 stars. Mm-hmm. So pretty good, above average for sure, but not like something that's going to blow your balls off. It's a good movie. The only thing, like, I feel like some of those scenes are just for shock factor and for like memeability, for like to kind of be on the internet, I feel like they put them in the movie for that reason. I feel like sometimes they don't really like you're watching it and you're like this is fucking weird. Why is this happening? But ultimately it's a fun watch. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I've seen way more disturbing movies for sure. I mean, just in the horror genre alone, I've seen, like, have you seen Midsommar?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, scenes in that are far worse
Very fucked up movie.
than anything in this movie. And I know it's a different genre. This one's a little different, but it's like, it's not that disturbing, but it's definitely worth the watch. Make sure you watch it. Watch it. Like I told you to. Do it.
Isn't
it's
it
good.
more fun to talk about it knowing that I don't know anything about it?
No, because then you can't like be like, oh yeah, I saw the scene. Blah.
I mean, I know the bathtub scene.
How do you know the bathtub scene?
I inspired the fucking thing.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Kidding.
That tries.
My recommendation is an album.
Ooh, what is it?
It's very weird.
Okay.
It's from a band you've never, or a group you've never heard of.
How do you know that? You don't know I've never heard of them.
Okay. The album, I think it has a Japanese name, but it's called Hawaii Part 2.
Okay.
There isn't a Hawaii Part 1.
Of course. Well, they may have been.
There might have, to my knowledge, there's not. And the group that made it is called Miracle Musical. But I think that was just a collection of artists. Do you know the Shia LaBeouf song?
Yeah.
That was written by a guy named Rob Cantor, who was previously in a band with a bunch of people who all kind of make that similar style of like goofy but like kind of really good music.
I found it.
Yeah. But it's this guy named Joe Hawley who kind of spearheaded the thing. But it's just this, I don't know how to describe it. It's very weird. It's like fantastical almost. It sounds more like you're listening to a musical than it does like a traditional album. But it's got like, I mean, I don't even know how to describe it. It's basically an album about nothing.
Sure.
It's kind of nonsense.
Okay.
But also there's like a lot of really...
But like, what are the vibes? Like, if I'm going to go into this, like, when would you put this on in your daily life? Are you driving at night?
Maybe
are you during the day having a dance party?
There are some songs that like might be dance party-esque.
Okay.
A lot of it's like, the best way I can describe it is like if you wanted to float.
Oh.
That might be a good...
Like if I want to float. Like if I want to like put my headphones on and just drift away.
Yeah. But there's also parts of songs on the album that like it sounds like they're using a microphone from like the 1930s or 40s.
Okay.
Which I don't, for some reason, really scratches my brain. I really love that sound. But check it out. There were a couple songs that were like trending on TikTok.
Cool.
Which is how I
originally found you found it.
Yeah.
TikTok.
Honestly, TikTok is just a great way to find new songs. Because
you'll
be watching, a video of someone, doing whatever the fuck, and then there'll just be like this song in the background. They're like, oh, what is that? And then you'll kind of go down a rabbit hole. So, yeah, Hawaii Part 2. It's good.
Cool. I'll listen. I'll give it a listen.
Listen to the last song first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
Just because that's
just the best one?
It's one of the best ones.
Okay.
It's very catchy.
I will.
But you'll like it.
Hold on.
What?
Let me just pull this album back up.
Yeah.
I just want to take a look.
There's one song that's primarily in Japanese.
Okay, it's 11 songs, 42 minutes. All right.
Yeah. There's some longer songs.
Well, if it was long, I was going to say, well, you're asking me to listen to this album, but
it's
you
not
couldn't even set aside about 2 hours to watch a movie.
It's not the length of a movie.
Okay, well, sometimes you don't know.
I'll watch Saltburn on the plane tomorrow.
What? It's probably not on the plane. It's on Amazon.
I have a phone.
It's on Amazon for free, so if you want to see it, go on Amazon.
I'll download it.
Okay, do it.
Or I'll read the novel, the Saltburn.
Is there a novel?
I mean, I feel like there's almost.
I think it's an original story. I don't think there's a book.
No,
for
I
this
feel
one. I'm pretty certain this movie doesn't have a book.
What people do is like what for some reason they'll like when movies are made, they'll then like make a book out of it where it's just the book is just like the script.
Yeah,
which is dumb.
It's a cash grab. Yeah. Do what you got to do.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Part 2, Miracle Musical or Musical Miracle, one of the two.
Yeah.
All right, question of the day.
Question of the day. Okay. For this question, which I will be asking, we're going to continue talking about movies. What is the last movie that made you cry? And then subsequently, what movie has made you cry the most or the hardest?
Oh, boy. What movie made me cry last? I'm not going to answer this question.
What do you mean you're not going to answer? You don't know?
No, I don't know.
Okay, well, I'll start.
Yeah, you start.
We talked about this last week. The last movie that made me cry was The Iron Claw, which I saw in theaters. We discussed at length last time. But that movie definitely got to me. Made me cry quite a bit. Not quite a bit, but a bit. Because it, was about brothers and love and loss and tragedy.
Fool's Paradise by Charlie Day.
Stop bringing that movie up. Stop bringing it up.
I feel like thinking of movies I cried at this year, I definitely cried during Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Really?
Yeah, man. It's a very emotional film.
Okay.
It's basically centered around animal torture.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, very hard. I feel like I usually tear up when I watch Interstellar, and I try to make a point to watch Interstellar. What?
I ran this question by Megan before I came over here.
You guys are dicks. You guys are such dicks.
She's like, I bet he's going to say, like, Interstellar or something.
It's a sad movie. All right, Mr. Dad over here doesn't think it's feasible to...
No, I get it. Murph!
Your favorite movie is School of Rock, you fucking dick.
That's not my favorite movie.
Yeah, it is.
It's not. It's Megan's favorite movie.
Okay. Murph! Such a small part.
That's great. What made you cry the hardest?
What's made me cry? I don't know. I just know that off the top of my head.
You know what movie I bawled at? And I don't know if this was because I was like at a place in my life where I was just severely depressed and needed to cry. But after I watched Boyhood,
I heard that was
I cried so hard. I think I watched it alone. So I was in college. I think it was like over winter break or something. Or some break where no one was home. I was the only one there. And I was probably like drinking or something and watching this movie. And I just remember like thinking, like, I'm growing up so fast. Life is just going by me.
You identified with the boy in Boyhood?
I guess.
I get older too.
I'm also older than I was. I remember crying so hard. Alone.
Just be real with me.
Yeah.
If you were put on a spaceship and then like 20 years passed for you didn't get to see Wesley and you got like a video of Wesley and he was like 26.
Okay, this is an Interstellar.
You would be like, you'd probably cry.
Yeah, right? I would cry.
So fuck you.
But I would relate to that scene now. I might cry in seeing that movie now. Because
I also like don't.
I relate to it because I am a father.
I don't bawl. I like tear up.
Oh, this guy doesn't.
No, I definitely have movies where I like cry. I'm just like nothing's coming to mind.
I mean, I
anything with a dog or like an animal dying.
Yeah,
that crushes me.
Sure.
For some reason, my mom always wants to go. Like anytime there's like one of those dog gets lost movie,
Yeah.
Like we watch it and it's like, great, this is gonna fucking ruin me.
I just feel like movies about dogs are never that good. Is that a hot take? I don't think movies with dogs are good. What's a good dog movie? Marley and Me, starring Owen Wilson. Give me a break.
That one's not bad.
Yeah, it's okay.
But also sad.
Yeah.
Because like that's kind of the trope with most dog movies. It's like the thing's gonna die.
Yeah, the dog's gonna die, and that's gonna be the climax of the movie,
which is terrible.
And then we're all gonna realize that the lesson is just appreciate the love that we have while we have it.
Man, I really want to give a quality answer to this question. Because I'm sure there's a movie within the last year that I've like full on cried for.
Yeah,
but can't think.
But not this guy.
No,
not Gort the wrestler. He doesn't cry
when Hedwig dies in Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Oh, come on, dude! I haven't even seen that yet.
That makes me sad. that always gets me. Because like, what if I had an owl?
You're a Gort,
and then this owl was just killed.
What if I had an owl? Okay.
I'll circle back. I'll have a solid answer for you tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
No, I'm kidding.
All right. No, I want to hear it
next week.
Okay. Get back to us next week. Do you have bizarre news?
Shrek the Fourth. Tough one.
Hey,
it's been probably 15 years, but I cried like a baby when Click.
Oh, that's
Click.
A sad one.
I feel like I might have talked about that, but yeah,
maybe
I cried like a baby.
Hey, that's another one. Life is passing you by.
Yeah,
like Boyhood.
At the end, where he's like, "I totally fucking ruined my life." It's like, wow.
Yeah.
I'm 7 years old, and for some reason this speaks to me.
For some reason, I'm really resonating.
I mean, because
it
was like right when Click came out, and I was like, oh, this is awful.
Oh my god.
What if I have this happen to me?
What if I get a magical remote?
And then I found out that Christopher Walken's like isn't like the whole thing is like he's the angel of death.
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure it is.
Which is like what? In the same film where he uses a remote to enhance a woman's breasts, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that is a scene.
But
and become green like the Hulk. Yeah.
David Hasselhoff is in that movie.
He is. Plays his boss.
Love D. Hoff.
Do you?
No.
He was also in the SpongeBob movie.
He was great in the SpongeBob.
Oh, you know what other movie's super sad?
What?
Have you ever seen the Pokemon movie?
Yeah.
Super sad.
There's
Mewtwo?
But
the Mewtwo one.
Yeah.
That one's really sad, where all the Pokemon are like dying at the end.
Yeah.
Or you think they're going to die?
Doesn't it like Ash like...
Yeah, like Pikachu, like something's going to happen.
Yeah.
He's like, Pikachu! Yeah, that one tore me to shreds when I was 4 years old.
Because it's like, shit, I have Pokemon.
I play Pokemon.
I have a Pikachu.
If I lost my Pokemon in my Ruby version game, I would be distraught. What would I do without
I was thinking we should link up and play that game.
Dude, I would love to.
We should get a group of us that are all playing like Ruby or Sapphire.
I know where my DS is right now.
So
I've got an old school one. That's all I've got.
What is old school DS to you?
Like the original DS. The first one.
I have a Game Boy.
That's old at this point, man.
I have a Game Boy.
I
have a Game Boy Color.
I used to rock a Game Boy Advanced pretty hard. I'd play it religiously.
I went from Game Boy Color to Game Boy SP.
Yeah, SPs were huge.
SPs are a big deal.
Well, I had an Advanced for the longest time. I didn't even get the SP until my brothers moved on, and then I got their hand-me-down SPs, and then so on and so forth with the DS and all that. But
it's all right, man.
Still have the DS to this day. I'm gonna go home and play it right now.
No, we wait.
Well, I'll just get. I'll restart my game. That's like the best part, anyways.
And I'll get that like cable that we can connect together. We can fight each other.
Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
See, the best part about like Ruby is that you get like those like a fort, like you'd build like your little fort, and then like your friends could come visit your fort. Do you remember that? Like a secret, like a hidden. It was like a hidden.
You just like unlocked I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You could like unlock like different like.
Well, you needed like the move that a Pokemon had that was called like secret power or something, and then they could like open up these little like you could see where they were, but you couldn't always access them until you got the move, and then you could use it with that Pokemon and open up the place, and it's usually a cave or a forest or some sort of setting like that, and then you open it up and there's this whole room in there.
Because couldn't you get like stuffed versions of Pokemon in your...
Yeah, you could like go buy stuff, so like you could get stuffed ones to decorate around.
On Ruby?
Yeah. Wow. I know, they were ahead of their time. And you could link up with people and they could come see your little fort area. Sweet. Awesome.
My God.
Anyways, you got bizarre news?
I do. We're almost out of time, so I'm going to go through this quick, but if
no,
you
take your time.
If you haven't seen this...
What?
Have you heard about the incident in Alabama? The Bass Pro Shop?
No. I have not.
You know how like Bass Pro Shops are like, for some reason, they're fucking cathedrals and they have aquariums and, you know, one's like shaped
over the top,
like a pyramid. Yeah, very, very over the top, but kind of cool, you know?
Sure.
Like Shields has a giant aquarium in town and has a fucking
Ferris wheel. Yeah.
Like, why? But,
why do we have a Ferris wheel and a Shields? Who knows?
But all right. This dude, I'm assuming he was kind of, you know, a little brain scrambled.
Oh.
Probably not mentally well.
Okay.
But he crashed his car at a Bass Pro Shop. He runs in there, into the Bass Pro Shop, strips nude. He's buck naked.
Nice.
Jumps into the pond and just swims around.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what happened?
It's pretty bizarre, huh?
And then what happened?
The police came and like escorted him. And
did they say why he did it?
I mean,
what was going on?
Again, probably not, not sound of mind.
So you're telling me this guy crashes into a Bass Pro Shop.
For show.
Strips down to his skivvies.
Yeah.
And then jumps into a pond. Is there fish in this pond?
I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure they're a pond.
Like it's like some sort of... Is it a koi pond? Is there...
It's not a koi pond.
There's live fish in it.
It's like big.
He's swimming with the fishes.
Probably.
That's crazy.
But he looked like he was having fun.
Well, that's good. I mean, as long as he's having fun. So it had to have been deliberate, right? He had to have thought in his head, whichever headspace he's in, I'm going to crash into this Bass Pro Shop and go swimming?
Yeah.
Or do you think that he just happened to crash into the Bass Pro Shop, then see the opportunity to jump into the pond, so he stripped to his clothes, because obviously he doesn't want to get those wet.
He doesn't want to get those
and,
wet.
Jumped on in and wanted to swim with the fish and have a good time. Which do you think is more likely?
The latter.
Okay. He just happened to crash.
Maybe sees the opportunity. So I hope that guy finds some peace.
Yeah, I hope so.
Figures something out. The other thing I want to just quick touch on, did you see the footage of that Alaskan Airlines flight?
No, I've been living under a rock. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Are you serious?
No, I'm serious. What? What did I miss?
One of the doors flew off mid-flight.
Whoa.
And so,
seriously?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Which has me, it never happens. But
You're about to go on a plane.
I'm about to get on a plane. I love seeing that kind of footage. Yeah, but someone found a phone that had gotten sucked out of the plane on the ground, and it survived this, 20,000-ish foot fall.
That would be terrifying.
I know.
If you're on a plane and a door flies off.
Especially if you're, I don't know if anyone was in the aisle or if they were able to move, but
yeah.
If here I'm sitting and then the door flies off, there's nothing between you and
right,
a swift fall.
Is it? Do you really get sucked out? Is that really how that works? I feel like that's like a movie thing, right? You don't really get sucked out, or do you because of the air pressure?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You actually go.
Yeah.
If you're not buckled, you're out.
Because people were saying clothes and stuff are flying out.
Okay.
And someone's phone was flying out.
Man, that's crazy.
But if I'm sitting there, I wouldn't feel comfortable enough to unbuckle and move away from it.
Right.
Because
you're just staying put.
And I don't know I'll ask my brother who's a pilot.
Yeah, I feel like he would.
If I was sitting in that chair and I took my thing off, would I go?
Well, I would assume eventually, it's not continuously sucking people out.
No,
eventually, the air pressure would
depressurize
balance, and then you would just be. There would be an open door, but you wouldn't be flying out if you go near it.
He once took me flying in a helicopter that didn't have doors on the side.
Yeah.
Because it was a small enough helicopter that didn't have AC, and it was summertime, and so they just fucking stripped the doors off.
Yeah.
And we were flying at I don't know, 1,000 feet, maybe less, maybe so more. I don't know. But flying around without a door, that enough was scary.
Yeah.
Because you would bank and you'd be
Yeah, that's scary. Well, I've also been in a helicopter without doors.
Really?
Yeah. On my honeymoon, we did a helicopter tour.
Really?
Yeah, you flew around the islands. It was really sweet.
That sounds scary.
It was one of the coolest things I've ever done.
Minnesota.
Yeah, and I made Megan go on the edge because I wasn't going to be on the edge, but I could still see, over, and it was pretty terrifying. But also awesome.
I think the thing with gravity keeps it in place when you're flying around like that.
Yeah, I think so.
You're not just going to slide out.
I like to think that I could stay in place. I was buckled, and they had little headphones on.
So you can talk? Yeah.
Well, no, we weren't talking. They just were playing music.
You didn't talk?
No, we could only hear what the pilot was saying, so we didn't have a mic.
Oh, you didn't have mics.
It was just headsets, so then the pilot was because it's a tour, so he's talking, this island is blah, 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 blah. But then they're also playing this music to up the atmosphere and the experience. Or I think as we were pulling back in, or flying back in, at one point they were playing Moana. I was this is ridiculous.
I love Moana.
Yeah, well, love Moana, but it seemed a little too on the nose for me.
But yeah, I'll figure out if I would have been figure out the logistics of that. But that's all we have time for. So any closing thoughts? I'm sure you got something really stupid you want to say.
Closing thoughts that are very important and very poignant to all the people listening out there. I would say don't be afraid to be emotional. Don't be afraid to be your authentic self and express your emotions in the way that you see fit, because nobody should shame you for that. And if you cry, if you bawl at the end of Boyhood, no one should shame you. But if you cried during Interstellar, there's probably something wrong with you. You should probably seek help, because it's not that sad. I hate you.